This my two Satoshis. This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another My Two Satoshis crypto news video update. Look, we've got a lot to talk about today because we see Bitcoin took another leg down, and we're now inside the channel from back in May that we were in for at least 4 or 5 months. We're going to take a look at the technical details on that, and I'll give you my two Satoshis on where we're going from here. It is a little concerning to see us back inside of that channel, and I'll give you my, I guess you can say, predictions on where we go from here. Also, the digital Yuan, I touched on this on my live stream on Monday. This is crazy big news, not necessarily for us in the crypto markets, but just in general, seeing the CBDCs move in this pace. China, of course, being ahead of everyone else, as always. What's new there, right? But China's digital currency is now at the fingertips of billions of people because they've rolled it out to the WeChat messaging app. I'll give you my two Satoshis on that. And also, Mike Novogratz says that there's a little bit more pain left in Bitcoin. He says Bitcoin can test $38,000 as a bottom area. Cryptodamus, definitely disagrees with him. But hey, I got to give you all sides of the story, and you guys make your own decisions up. Lastly, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has dipped to its lowest point since July, and I'll tell you where we were as a price for Bitcoin in July and what this means. Does this mean we're bottoming out, like Novogratz says? I don't know. You have to make that decision up. All those articles coming up on today's episode of My Two Satoshi. Let's get it.
But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this.
And before getting started, got to give a shout out to my channel sponsor, bityard.com. They have a zero fee purchase on cryptos right now. So this is a way you can not only trade on Bityard, but you can also onboard yourself, or this is an on-ramp for you to purchase Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies and even move them off of that exchange for zero fees. So take advantage of this. It's a limited time offer. I think they have like 3 different companies you can purchase and acquire your cryptos from, but Transact is the one that's offering the zero fees on your purchases. This supports USDTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, Doge, XRP for you XRP fans out there, Link, BAT. I mean, the list is about like 10 different cryptos you can buy with zero fees right now. So take advantage of that. Link in the description below. You can also trade on there. I advise you doing the copy trading because that is where it's at on bityard.com. They are licensed in the United States, as you guys can see here. So check them out, a legit company. Been with them for over 2 years now, bityard.com. So let's check out this heat map really quickly, people. It is red all over the place, like it's a crypto blood party. Bitcoin down 3.3%, trading at $41,725. Ethereum hit the hardest though. Man, I'm short on Ethereum and I'm making a hell of a lot of money on this short. It is trading at $3,200, down 6.5% today. Solana down 9%. I should say Solana. I always mess that up. BNB down 5.5%, almost 6%. And most of your tokens are down. Atomic is slightly up, but for the most part, your coins are down. Hex is up 2.1% today, but it's been hit hard over the last couple of days, so a little bounce back for them. But technically, this is what I'm worried about here. As you guys can see, we're back in this channel. I had this area highlighted months ago for us, because I said, hey, this is a consolidation area that we're seeing. And this started back in May of last year and actually lasted all the way till August. We dipped back into it a little bit over in September, all the way through the end of September, but then rallied out of that explosively. Unfortunately, we've traversed that whole rally from inside that channel at $40,000 all the way up to $68,000, $69,000 Bitcoin. We've traversed that whole move up. Was that a sucker's rally? It looks like it to me. I just don't see us turning back around and going all the way back up again to make new highs. At this point, we've broken so many technicals, it doesn't make sense. Where you need to watch, though, I'm going to zoom in here. These are the areas you need to watch for Bitcoin, because we're right there at the previous support areas, or what you could consider previous highs in Bitcoin within the channel. So we're bouncing right there off of those 2 areas. if we break below this particular one, because this one's lower than this one, we have a problem, because the next area, I mean, you could group in 39,000, but really the next area that I'm seeing as a means of support would be $36,000 Bitcoin, which is where Mike Novogratz is saying should be the low. I'm not convinced just yet. I got to see price action when we get to that point, if we get to that point, which I think we will. We got some resistance now at $43,000 Bitcoin. That should be an area of resistance. If we break out above 43,000 substantially, meaning over the next 24 hours above the $43,000 marker, then that could be an area or a signal that we're breaking out and going back up. But I don't see that happening. I see us heading lower at this point. I'm going to draw this out too. I'm just seeing this right now as we speak. Look at this line that I'm drawing here. So what this is telling us, we had a trend line, right? We saw the fake pump back up after the failed Fed pump happened, and we failed, and we turned back around and tried to go back up. We broke out of that area of resistance there on that trend line. But guess what happened? Just today, honestly, we broke back below that trend line. That is critical. So, if we can't get back above this, which it doesn't look like that's going to happen, then we are heading lower in the markets. All right. Speaking of lower in the markets, Mike Novogratz thinks that there's more pain left and we can test the $38,000 Bitcoin price as a bottom. The popular crypto investor and former Goldman Sachs manager said that Bitcoin has well enough chances to slip under 40,000 and test a new bottom at 38,000 before gaining any upward momentum, he says. He also included that he knows big institutions who are going through their process to put positions on. They're going to see those as attractive levels to buy. So what does that mean to you? It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm gonna be honest with you, because as the article next section talks about, Fed tightening the monetary policy, that is going to pretty much dictate where Bitcoin goes. Yeah, we look at these technical levels as some benchmark, right, from a short-term perspective. However, what's really controlling these markets is FA, fundamental analysis, fundamental news, and their monetary policy. What they said at the last FOMC meeting, those minutes really shook the markets. And honestly, if they're not going to reverse course, I don't think they will. You're going to see these markets bleed out further. So 38,000, yeah, we may see a bounce there just for technical traders. But if the conditions have not changed, if the Fed hasn't turned around and said, hey, we're not going to slow down our money printing, our quantitative easing, and whatever term you want to use this year, if they don't change that, which I don't see them changing that course in such a short time frame, then we're going to blow right through that 38,000 and head lower and bleed out. So until the Fed changes course, which I think we're maybe 6 months away from, then there's nothing really, technically speaking, can help Bitcoin at this point. So I have to disagree with him that saying that 38,000 is a bottom. We can't say that. Really, we have to gauge what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And we have to watch that month by month, week by week, and see what happens there. So that's my 2 Satoshis from that perspective. And speaking of other barometers to look at and gauge what's going on in the markets, we got to look at the greed and fear index, and it has dipped to its lowest point since July of last year. That's 2021. So where were we in July of 2021? Well, let's take a look. It looks like we were just about in the $33,000 marker for Bitcoin. And we did bottom out very close to the end of July. So I don't know where in July we hit. Maybe we hit the low back on July 20th. That will be the low for that last cycle. Does that mean we're bottoming out and we're going to head higher from here? I don't personally think so. But, that's something for you to think about. That is showing us that we're at those lows again. I mean, just because we're in an oversold market doesn't mean it can't stay oversold. Keep that in mind as well. But to the contrary, this may be an area for you to start putting cash in. I'm sticking to the premise of the Fed is controlling the narrative in the crypto markets, not even directly. They don't care about cryptos. But because cryptos are risk on assets, they're going to be affected by what the Fed does, just like stocks and bonds will. And to piggyback on my thing about being in the oversold or very high fear levels with the fear greed index, well, this quant says the same thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that the current price has hit a bottom as well. Following the May crash, the months of May and June also observed similar extreme fear sentiments multiple times. So keep that in mind. So it's rather possible that the current low values of the indicator may persist for a while, just like back then. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Next thing I want to talk about is this. This is big news. And again, this doesn't really directly affect what's going on in the cryptos, but it will affect the CBDC world, the central bank digital dollar world. That is fastly approaching, and you're going to see more countries roll those out. Of course, US is going to be last as always, but China first as always. Tencent owned WeChat, that's China's largest messaging app, and one of the country's biggest payment services will begin supporting the digital yuan. This is big news. And this is new news even since Monday when I talked about how they were rolling out the digital yuan for the Olympics coming up in China. But the People's Bank of China, which issues the sovereign digital currency, is looking to expand the number of citizens using this digital money. Listen, WeChat has about 1 billion users. So this is going to quickly spread, and the adoption is going to only increase very quickly. What does this mean for cryptos? Absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Default, my man Default, who called in on the last live stream, said it actually does have an effect on cryptos. He says that because the Chinese play such an integral part in, and they have so many people, they could really, we could see much higher Bitcoin prices right now if China hadn't banned Bitcoin outright fully. Like, we know Bitcoin has been banned multiple times. It doesn't mean it's going to kill Bitcoin, but it does kill that additional demand that we used to see from China. Some of my OGs may remember that one site. I can't remember the name right now, but it used to show all the Bitcoin that were being purchased and where. And, you know, it used to be predominantly back in the day, 13, 14, 15, 16, predominantly all that purchasing was coming from China, right? Now you look at that map, nothing from China. So there is a demand suck or void that has occurred with these bans. So, hey, we may have truly been at $100,000 Bitcoin if China was participating in these markets, but they're not. Maybe that's an effect that, you know, that ban does have on Bitcoin and crypto markets. It may not add to the demand, but it won't take away, in my opinion. And maybe tomorrow or next week, I'll talk about Coin Journal article about GameStop getting into the NFT space. Look, the buzzword NFT is like blockchain was a buzzword back in 2017. Again, giving remnants and making me think about a potential short-term top in these markets. But, you know, they add NFT to any headline and boom, stocks go crazy. So maybe I'll talk about this on Off the Chain over the weekend if we do one. But this is crazy. I really think this sounds like a bubble in the NFT space, possibly even the broader crypto space. So that's something to think about. I'll leave that for you guys. But that's pretty much it for today, ladies and gents. Make sure, again, you get over to bityard.com to take advantage of those zero fees on purchasing cryptos. Link in the description below. All right, that's my 2 Satoshis for today. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here, people. Holla!